everything you see here is router on a stick. And we have a particular problem because for this year's logistic, they have expanded to over 600 employees. And with 600 employees, they have more PCs or users for each of the VLANs. So now from our previous lab, we have two VLANs, VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, that is for HRO and for operations. So now for HRO and operations, that means if they have about new 600 employees, they'll be having, let's say, 300 users on VLAN 10 and 300 users on VLAN 20. So in the previous lab, because we had few users and having few users won't lead to network congestion or increased latency or router CPU utilization to become very high, we used a router on a stick. And that's why router on a stick is actually more suited for small businesses or small organizations. But now when you have organizations like banks, like MTN, like companies like Amazon or Microsoft, you actually need a layer 3 device to actually handle that, because configuring just an interface to handle so much traffic will lead to network congestion, just like we said, and increased latency. So to solve that problem, just like we said earlier, we are going to introduce a layer 3 device, which is this one we can see over here. This is a 3560 24PS multi-layer switch. So now it's a layer 3 device because this switch is a layer 3 device because it it actually ensures that it doesn't only just switch frames, but it routes packets. So it would actually handle VLAN routing. So we don't no longer need our router because the router would actually not handle a lot of this traffic due to the fact that DCS logistics have expanded. So what we'll do quickly is we'll actually take off our router. So now we are taking off our router because DCS logistics now have a lot of employees, and that means they have a lot of users. So we introduce our layer 3 switch to handle the routing of our VLANs. So now, what we do on this layer 3 switch, we'll actually configure what we call switched virtual interfaces. Switched virtual interfaces. So now, since we have about two VLANs, we are going to configure two switch virtual interfaces on our multi-layer switch or layer 3 switch. So now, if you are actually gaining value from what we are doing here, and if this video is helpful to you, I would appreciate if you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification so you get more content like this. So now quickly we'll move over to what we are actually doing. We talked about the SVIs being the switch virtual interface. So what they do is they help us ensure that there is routing between VLANs on our layer 3 switch. So let's get into configuring them as quick as possible. So get into our layer 3 switch, and remember, in doing your configuration, you have to ensure that your layer 3 switch, you have the database of your VLAN created. As you create your VLANs there, if you're using VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, the first thing you do is ensure VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 is created on that layer 3 switch. If you don't do that, you don't actually want to see what will happen. So ensure that VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, if those are the VLANs you're using, or as many VLANs you're using, are actually created on that multi-layer switch or layer 3 switch which you want to configure your SVI. So what we'll do is quickly head into our switch, enable config T. Then now what we'll do first is we are going to create our VLANs first. So we have just two VLANs. So it's going to be VLAN 10, because we have VLAN 10. We'll give it a name. should call it we have HRO, then we leave our VLAN 10, then we change to VLAN 20 because we have VLAN 20. Then the next thing we'll do is give our operations because we have the operations department. We said earlier that HRO is now 300 users, operations is now 300 users. So these are operations department that will be housing 300 users. So now we've done the first step in our switch virtual interface creation. So the next thing we'll do now is very simple and important. Remember that these are switches. You have to let the ports that is going to connect from this to this be a trunking port. Why is it going to be a trunking port? Just like we said from our previous video, you have to go and check and see. Trunking ports allow multiple VLANs to move through them or go through them. So what we quickly do is we are going to be using gig 0/1. So we actually configure that to be our trunking port. So just like we have always done, we are going to do get into that interface gig 0/1. Then the next thing is switch port. We'll get to switch port. The next thing we'll do is we'll say switch port trunk encapsulation, like tagging what we've done before, .1q, bam, and we are good. Then the next thing we'll do is switch port. Now we want to say, okay, we want your mode to be trunk. This is what we've always done. Then now the next thing is we'll say, okay, switch port, we want you to allow, the trunk should allow these VLANs. So trunk allow VLAN, we're going to allow VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. Those are the VLANs we have on our network. So we are done with making that a trunking port. We're going to do no shutdown because we all know that it is administratively down. So we exit. So now we've done the next step, which is ensuring that the ports that will connect to this layer 2 or access layer switch is actually a trunking port. So the next thing we quickly do is we start configuring and giving our interfaces our default gateway, which is the switch virtual interface. So what we'll now do is quickly get into interface VLAN 10. Interface VLAN 10. See now the state is up because we've actually done what we should have done. So the next thing we'll do is say IP address. So we'll give it a default gateway. This is this IP address we're doing here. So it's going to be 192.168.10.1 for VLAN 10. Then subnet max of 255.255.0. And we quickly do no shutdown. So no shutdown is very important. And we exit. And we repeat the same thing for VLAN 20. So for VLAN 20, we would have this. Then we would give it an IP address or the default gateway as we did in the previous one. It's going to be 20.1. And we are quickly going to say no shutdown. And now we quickly exit. So now we've done about 3 things. Take note. We first created the VLAN on our layer 2 switch, configured the trunking port, and now we've actually created our switched virtual interfaces, VLAN 10 for VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. So the next thing we have to do that is very important, if we don't do it, everything we've done here won't work, is to ensure that there is routing. So now if we leave out this command, guess what will happen? Everything we've done won't work. So now for us to get value for what we've done, the next command we have to run is IP routing or IP routes. So why do we run this command? We want this command to ensure that We are running this command to ensure that there is routing between the VLAN. So you're enabling routing. So if you don't do IP routes, nothing works. All right, it says wrong command. It says wrong command. So it's IP routing. So IP routes. So now the command checker or syntax checker actually saw that my command was actually wrong. So but now the correct command is IP routing. So now what we'll do is exit, just like we always do, save our work, running config, startup config, bam, good to go. So can we test that to see what we've done? So remember, this is operations. Operations having 192, APC having 192.168.20.4, and this is our HR VLAN 10, 192.168.10.4. So let's actually ping or connect to a PC in operations. So we get to our command prompt from desktop to command prompt. Then we'll actually say ping 192. So this is a PC in our operations, so 20.4, and let's see if there's connectivity or if what we've done has worked. Oh, I think we're missing out something. Now it's time for us to troubleshoot and see what we are missing out. So now it's not working yet, and that's good, very, very much good. If you watch, we just did our configuration, but we didn't connect these devices together. So as a network engineer, you should actually know how to troubleshoot and find out what problems are actually wrong with what you've done. So now what we do, we are creating our connection. Remember, we use Gig Ethernet 0/1. All right, and let's see if it's what we actually did. Yeah, so we see our connections are actually up. So let's now give some time so it turns green. We're powered up so we can actually test for connectivity. So quickly, let's go back and see if we get a better result now. Okay, let's see if we get into another hoop, then we still need to try again. Wow, no connectivity. So what do you think might be wrong with what we've done? We've created our VLAN. We've also, let's try again and see. All right, we actually figured out the problem. So now the problem was on these two switches, I gave my VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 two different names, but on my layer 3 switch, I also gave it two different names. So that was the actual issue. So that's why troubleshooting is actually important. So now we could actually see that from this PC on VLAN 20, we could ping this other one on VLAN 10, which is 10.4. So let's quickly try out and see what happens. So in pinging, we'll actually move down. Want to ping 10.4 for connectivity. 10.4. Let's test for connectivity between these two PCs. All right, 10.4 is still giving us a challenge. So let's quickly try this PC 10.2. See there's a reply. Then we'll also try 10.4. There is connectivity. So I think this is a challenge that we've created. So on this PC over here in VLAN 20, it's not having connectivity to anything has to do with VLAN 10. So what I want you guys to do is go through it and see what you've done. But I will actually resolve it and upload on the next lab. So now with this, we've actually done switch virtual interfaces. So congratulations, you just completed one of the most important topics in enterprise networking. In our previous lab, we used router on the stick to enable communications between VLANs. But today, we have taken a step further, replacing our router on the stick with a layer 3 device or a layer 3 switch and configuring switch virtual interfaces on our layer 3 switch. Now you understand that SVIs are or act as default gateways for a VLAN, and with the IP routing command enabled, the layer 3 switch can actually route traffic between VLANs internally without relying on the external router. So this approach we actually find it in many modern campus network. So all we've done here, we found this approach in many modern enterprise campus network on networking, just to ensure that we have better performance, lower latency, and improved scalability. So that's why we would actually use multi-layer switch or layer 3 switch to do our VLAN routing. So now, thank you for learning with me today. I am Daniel Chidera, and this is this year's Networking Academy, where we build practical networking skills for real-world IT careers. I will see you in the next lab. Until then, keep learning and keep building.